We were focusing on OSPF for a couple of days, and we are now trying to see different type of advertisements that we have in OSPF. This is not new, we early spoke this some other day. Type 1 is the router LSA, 2 is network LSA, 3 is summary, 4 is autonomous system summary, 5 autonomous system external LSA, 6 multicast OSPF LSA, 7 not so stubby area LSA, 8 external attribute LSA for border gateway protocol. See, BGP is what our next topic is going to be. There you will see BGP sending attributes. So if you wish to carry such attributes in OSPF for some reason, then you need this. And then there's a pack LSA 9, 10 and 11, meaning for IPv6, for segment routing and so on. Now let us go one by one. Depending on from which router these LSAs are coming, the name also differs. You see, type 1 LSA is what called as router LSA. And this originates from every single router. The scope of this LSA is within the area. This LSA will not go to next area. One router knows about the other network in other routers that are in same area using this LSA. So it is this LSA, this advertisement, that makes one router to know about the networks of the other router in that area. But this advertisement will not be given to next area. This is only for those routers that are inside the area. This does not cross the border. So router LSA is not enough, sufficient to spread, to distribute the routes throughout the autonomous system. That's why we have other LSA types. Router LSA scope is only within the area. And every router is identified with router ID. Using that router ID, this LSA will be advertised. So how do you identify this advertisement from where it is coming? By looking into the router ID. Next is type 2 LSA, which is called as network LSA. This originates from the designated router only. And this LSA is also flooded within the area. So the DR advertisements goes from this type 2 to all other DR others, but they will not be sent outside of this area. So earlier we learned that only with the DR other routers will form full adjacency. So it is DR's responsibility to distribute. For that we need a special advertisement. That is what type 2. Type 2 originates from DR. Try to understand this very well. Number 1, what we saw is router LSA that comes from every router. Number 2 is network LSA, which comes only from designated router. Both these advertisements are bringing routes of that area. but these advertisements will not go to other area. Both these advertisements are not useful for other areas. They are only for local, within an area. Then how other areas will know about the networks of this area? Through the advertisement called summary LSA. If you notice this picture, type 1 LSA comes, advertises the network. So now this router knows the networks of the inside, and this router is also a member of area 0, that's why it is ABR. So now what it does is ABR advertises the networks of area 1 to area 0 as type 3 advertisement. So if you want to block all the routes coming from area 1, you need to block type 3. Type 3 is the one which brings the other area routes. If you don't like other area routes, what do you need to block? Type 3 only. Easy. Yeah, this type 3 are flooded outside the area from where it is originating. Inter area. Even if you check the routing table, you will have IA. This IA, what does it mean? These networks are coming from different area, not the area to which this router belongs to. What this O means? They are from same area. This network is from same area. IA means it's coming from another area. E means it is coming from another autonomous system. This is type 5 LSA. Type 5 advertisements will be seen as E. We'll go to that one. Let's go back. So we understood what is type 3 LSA. No? Type 3 LSA is the one which brings routes from other area. Type 3 LSAs are used to flood the network information to areas outside the originating area, called inter area. So this explains, this advertises the network and the mask. This is originating from where? ABR. So from this ABR it goes as type 3. Again this ABR will regenerate it as type 3. That is how the network of area 1 is advertised throughout the autonomous system. See, the name is summary LSA. Don't think, this is going to summarize and send. No. They are not going to summarize. If you will do summarization, where will you do? On the ABR. Where is this advertisement originating? From the ABR. That is why the name is given as summary LSA. But in nature, it won't be summarized. By default, it will not be summarized. We need to summarize it manually and send. So type 3 LSA originates from ABR, where we may do summarization. If you do summarization, then type 3 will be summary LSA. Otherwise, it will be a detailed LSA. Only the name is summary LSA. Next is type 4. Please understand, type 3 LSA is called a summary LSA because it is originating from ABR. ABR is the place where we do summarization. Same reason for the next. Type 4 is also called as autonomous system summary LSA because this also originates from where? ABR only. Yep. So those external routes are coming and redistributed in this router. That is why this router is called as ASBR. Now this ASBR will have a router ID. Let's say the router ID is 1.1.1.1. This router ID of ASBR is what type 4 advertisement will advertise. This type 4 advertisement will go and tell to every router here saying, I got a router called 1.1.1.1. He is responsible for all external router networks. Yeah. So type 4 LSA contains the router ID of ASBR, just the router ID. This originates from the ABR. That is why it is called as summary LSA. But it is bringing the router ID of what? The ASBR. So you can call it as Autonomous System Summary LSA. This will not bring any external network. If I have externally 8.8.8.8 in EIGRP, that will not be carried as type 4. That is type 5 that is coming next. Type 5 LSA originates from that ASBR itself, where we do redistribution. Let's say here you got EIGRP. EIGRP routes are redistributed into OSPF here. That's why it is ASBR. So those EIGRP routes that are entering into OSPF will be carried as type 5. Again, it will not be summarized by default. If you want, you can summarize it. Type 5 LSA is called as external LSA.
Okay, what is difference between type 4 and type 5? Type 4 also...
No, that's what. You need to listen carefully. See, type 4 says, Meenambakam you should go. Meenambakam. That is type 4. Type 5 says, Dubai aeroplane is coming at 3 o'clock to Meenambakam. Abu Dhabi airport is, flight to Qatar is coming at 5 o'clock to Meenambakam. And Amsterdam aeroplane is coming at 7 o'clock to Meenambakam. That is type 5. Bringing the external network is type 5. And from where this is advertised? From the redistribution point Meenambakam, the airport. But for those who are in Saidapet, someone is telling airport you want to go, that is Meenambakam. The location of airport is Meenambakam. That will be advertised as type 4. But if you go to Meenambakam, where all you can go to abroad will be advertised as type 5. That is what I was telling you. The EIGRP routes are advertised as type 5. But type 4 is simply advertising the router ID of ASBR, the Meenambakam of India, where you can go to other country. But which all country, which all network is given by type 5, not by type 4. But to go to type 5, you need to know Meenambakam first. If I want to go to Dubai, I need to know Meenambakam first. That Meenambakam location is given by type 4. But Dubai location is given by type 5. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So now, this 5 is what under our control. That's why in this presentations they will not teach more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. All the. So if you want to check the LSA's advertisements, you need to type this command, show IP OSPF database. So it shows router LSA, network LSA, summary LSA. Type 1, type 2, type 3 is shown here. 4 and 5 will also be shown here. Here they said output omitted because of the space. So, linked advertisements, depending on from where it originates, the name differs. Router LSA is the one which originates from every router in that area. This brings the advertisement for the networks which are inside this area, and these advertisements will not be given to other area. For that, ABR needs to convert the type 1 into type 3, which is called summary LSA. In case if you have multi-access, you also have a DR. So for DR, there is a special advertisement called network LSA. Summary LSA is the one which is going to take one area routes to the other area. Autonomous system summary LSA is the one which takes the location of ASBR. Type 5 LSA is called as external LSA, which takes the external routes, redistributed routes inside OSPF. Any question on these 5 types? The routes that are learned via type 1 and type 2 will be showing as means intra area, within area. Within area only these 2 LSA types. The routes that are learned as type 3 from type 3 means coming from other area. In the routing table you will have OIA. I showed you that in the routing table. This is type 5. Type 4 will not be bringing any routes. Type 4 will be simply bringing the location of ASBR. The location of ASBR. Meenambakam only will be told to you. But what Meenambakam? To go Dubai Meenambakam, to go Saudi Meenambakam, to go Abu Dhabi Meenambakam, to go to Amsterdam Meenambakam. That will be carried as type 5. Right. So, what is the difference between this E1 and E2? E1 and E2. By default E2 means path cost not calculated. See here, for example, this is EIGRP. This is OSPF. We are redistributing. When you redistribute, you are saying to reach this EIGRP network, this is the metric. And it goes from this router to this router, this router to this router, this router to this router. In the middle, what is the metric in this link? 10, 10, 10. But you see, when router 5 receives it, the metric is same as when it is redistributed. What do you understand from this? The path cost is not added. That is what called as E2. For the external network, if you don't add the internal path cost, then it is E2. This is default. But if you change it as E1, 1785 plus 10, 1795 plus 10, 1805 plus 10, 1815. You see, 1815 when it is received here. So if you are going to add all the path cost to the metric given while redistribution, we call it as type 1, external type 1. When path cost is not added, which is default, by default it won't add. When path cost is not added, the same metric given during the redistribution time is carried to all the routers inside, then we call it as E2. So if it is E2, what does it mean? This metric 50 is what given while redistribution time. No path cost is added. O means you are learning through type 1 or 2. OIA means you are learning through other area.
Sir, why the podcast should be added there? Is there any reason?
See, if you have two border routers, here you got only one redistribution point. What if I have another router here, which is also connected to this EIGRP? So when you calculate the cost, you will see this is cheaper. Going like this is costly. When you have only one exit, there is no need for path cost calculation. If you have more than one edge router, to reach EIGRP networks, if you have more than one edge router, we need to choose the nearest edge router. For that you will calculate the cost. For that you need to change just type 1. By default, it is type 2 because most of the time you will not have two ASBR. Most of the time you will not have two ASBR. If you have two ASBR, you can change it to E1. Did you get the answer?
Yes, sir. In OSPF, there is no load balancing, sir, at EIGRP.
No. OSPF will not do load balancing. OSPF will do load balancing only if the cost is same. Unequal cost load balancing will not be done.
Okay.
Next. Now, to reduce the number of LSA, you can set the limit to avoid too many LSAs coming. But advertisements are very important. But what if too many advertisements are coming? If too many advertisement comes, much process will be utilized because you need to process those new updates. So this is just an optional command. If it is needed, you can do it. But we like advertisement. Advertisement is important for updating. Next is the cost calculation, the metric cost calculation, which is very important. Though it is only one page to finish this chapter, I am not going to cover this today. I'll cover this tomorrow.